all you could feel as you were sitting on the flight deck. I had a mirror. I was trying to look out the overhead window to see where the ground was at, but it was a little distracting just with all the vibration and noise that was going on. We settled down to watch the engines and waited for SRB SEP. And when SRB SEP came, it was quite surprising. It was a really loud flash and a bang.
Wow, 103, 103. 103, 103.
And I couldn't help it. I had to say wow because it was so unexpected. It was just such a loud bang. We had a smoother ride after that. It was once the SRBs were gone.
50 nautical miles.
And then we hit the 50 nautical mile point.
Thanks, guys.
And that's the point where Piers and Fyodor and I became flown astronauts. 8.5 minutes we were to orbit, and we got to work turning the orbiter into the rocket into an orbiter so we could start with our mission. Open the payload bay doors, and we were off and running. The noise that was going on.
Almost immediately, we begin the rendezvous process, which takes about 2 days of burns.
Watched the engines and waited for
station.
SRB SEP.
I'm up there in the front, along with my core rendezvous team, Dave Wolf, who's a former ice cream salesman.
It was quite
Piers Sellers,
surprising.
the snail
It was really
farmer,
loud.
and Pam Melroy, who we call Tank Girl. Imagine how that would feel. We're all on the flight deck
Because it
here.
was so
We all have a lot to
unexpected.
do.
It
It's
was
very
just such a
crowded. We're
loud
looking
bang.
out two tiny windows as
we
we
had a
travel along at 17,500 miles an hour. Both vehicles traveling that speed. This picture is about 45 minutes
once
before
the
docking.
SRBs were gone.
You can see that we're closing very, very slowly to the space station. It's magnificent as you move in and look out those windows and look at the International Space
And
Station
then we hit the 50
hanging
nautical mile
above
point.
Earth's atmosphere.
And that's the point.
It's brilliant. The color is very metallic and looks almost like molten metal. It's so bright in the bright rays
Where
of the
Piers
sun.
and Fyodor and I became
As we
flown
move
8.5
in,
minutes.
things gradually
we were to
get
orbit,
more and more
and we got
exciting
to work
until we
turning
finally
the orbiter into
reach the space
rocket
station,
into
feel
an
the
orbiter
thunk,
so we could
and we
start
dock.
with our mission. Open the
We know
payload
we've
bay
made it, a very critical event accomplished safely. It takes about an hour to pull these two pieces together and to pressurize the area in between and do all the checks, and then it's time to open the hatches. And what a treat it is to rendezvous and then open the hatch to living people. The crew had been up there about 4 months when we opened this hatch. And talking to other crews, they say that the most important thing for them is seeing new faces. And the second most important thing is food and the salsa we brought in a bright red pie. As we move in, things gradually get more and more until we finally reach the space station.
We didn't have a whole lot of time to meet and greet and say hello because we had to immediately get to work and transfer all of the spacewalk equipment over to the station airlock. And we were busy flying back and forth.
We've made it a
to
very
take
critical
piece parts
event,
of the spacesuit, put them together,
safely.
put the tools on the spacesuits, and there was just a lot of work we had to do at the end of that flight day 3 after we docked.
It's about an hour to pull these two
right
pieces
away,
together
we got up on
and to
the morning of
pressurize
flight
the
day
air.
4. The EVA guys got to work doing their pre-breathe and getting their exercise in for their spacewalk prep, and Peggy and I got to work on the
do all the
S1
checks,
install.
and then it's time to
It was
open the
going to be a
hatches,
long
and what
day
a
for
treat
us,
it
and we
is.
got to work with the unberth. And it does take 2 people to fly that arm. There's a lot going on there. You got to manage the camera views. You have to do the actual flying, keep an eye on the procedures.
Rendezvous
There's
and then
comm
open
between
the
the
hatch
ground,
people.
comm between the shuttle.
The crew
Just
had been
a
up
whole
there
lot of
about
work.
4 months.
We actually stopped a couple times and put the brakes on so we could fly over to the shuttle windows and look out the pilot's window and see what the 30,000-pound truss looked like at the end of the Canadarm, because the whole time we were only flying from camera views, and it was really beautiful to go look out the window and see what the truss looked like and out there hanging over the edge of the shuttle payload bay.
The most important thing
When
is
we worked through
food.
the procedures, there were some great procedures. We got up and got the install done. And we didn't have a whole lot of time to meet and greet and say hello because we had to immediately get to work and transfer all of the spacewalk equipment over to the station airlock. And we were busy flying back and forth.
Made it a very
Take
critical
piece
event,
parts of the spacesuit, put them together, put the tools on the spacesuits, and there was just a lot of work we had to do at the end of that flight day 3 after we
put the final touches. You can see being gentle with us there. And there comes the moment to put on the helmets, and there's a final clunk,
Shuttle
which
payload
means
bay.
helmet
The
on
most
for the
important
next 10 hours. And we'll see you
When
When we
later.
worked through the
The,
procedures, there were
also
some
move
great
in
procedures
to the space
done.
station.
And we didn't have a whole lot of time to meet and greet and say hello because we
It's
had
time to cram us into the airlock. But before that, we always indulge in a few pagan rites to appease the
to immediately get to work and transfer all of the spacewalk equipment over to the station airlock. We were busy flying back and forth.
We made it a very
Take
critical
piece
event.
parts of the suit, put them
Shove
together,
one guy in
put the tools
face
on the
down
space
so that he's facing the hatch. Put in all the luggage.
suits,
Squirm into
and there was just a lot of work we had to do at the end of that flight day
just
3.
enough room to basically not scratch your nose because you can't. Close the hatch.
After we
Put the final
then
touches.
another hour,
See being.
and
There
then
comes the
we're ready to
moment
go
to put on the helmets, and there's a final
That's an exciting
clunk.
moment.
Shuttle
Open the
payload
hatch,
bay.
Helmet 240-mile drop, so don't let go. squirm out on
Most
for the
important
next 10 hours. Look around, grab a
Thing
seal.
we
We have
learned
to
in
install
space
them.
station
We
field.
have a-
A lot of distractions. Here's a night pass. We've got thunderstorms going on.
We'll
below.
install
One
when
last
we
look over
bring
it.
it hello because
It's time to cram us into the airlock. But before that, we all manhandling bits of equipment, moving them around, fighting with each other occasionally. No, not really. Then using power tools to bolt things in position. A lot of heavy work, particularly on EVA-1. It's good that we had our tools checked out in a thoroughly professional manner by EV1. And this is really the only way to get things done.
We make our way out at times to the very end of the truss, and we call this the end of the world, and it really feels like you're out there. That's a camera group that we installed. We worked together as a team, and that's the view back. You can see the shuttle inverted at the top, looking back through the truss. Remember that we have one tether on, and Pam is choreographing our activities the whole time with a detailed checklist from inside. Even though we're alone out there, it really feels with Sandy and Pam and the ground like you have real support. We ride the arm that Sandy is driving much of the time to do the detailed work, and if you happen to dare to look down, which I tried to avoid, tried to mainly focus on the station, you could get to these incredible views, which if you let yourself, you can get kind of lost in. There's the empty payload bay. It used to have the truss inside, the laboratory module, the airlock that we have just come out of and we'll go back into after 8 or 9 hours. Total time, 7 hours outside. There's the truss that has been installed. We have many tools and bags of equipment to keep organized, and they're all on separate tethers, and it can be a challenge keeping that straight. This is an antenna that we installed, and you'll see how quickly it goes from day to night, at the same time going from plus 200 degrees to minus 200 degrees. Takes a little temperature adjustment. We're very tired after a little over 7 hours outside in this case. We come inside and we're just happy to be hung on the wall and let Pam and Fyodor do their magic, let us rest, and get us unsuited. You can see as the lower torso comes off this suit, the white garment has thousands of cooling water tubes that keep us air conditioned. We're looking forward to a good hearty meal after all that. This is the service module, a great place to congregate and eat. It's very homey. There's the table, and you'll see Sandy in her natural inverted perch. She had an amazingly quick adaptation to zero-G. Sergei filling from the Russian galley a food container, cans of food. The real purpose of this space station, of course, is to do science. And here Jeff is doing a physics experiment. And you can really see the different behavior and properties of materials where surface tension dominates. And this space station is truly an international laboratory bringing 17 countries together to ultimately do research in physics, material science, biology, plant biology in this case, where experiments to learn to grow plants for long duration so we can go to Mars and have more natural, fresh food. And it's fun for the scientists too, as Sandy demonstrates in the laboratory with her own experiment.
Well, let's take you on a little tour of the station. As it is right now, that's a picture of Yuri Gagarin, the first human in space. This is the service module. Sergei is showing us his bedroom. That's actually his bedroom, that little closet area there. You see pictures of his family, you can see his personal gear, and that white bag against the wall is his sleeping bag. That's where he spends the night. The service module is a very homey place, as Dave said. You saw the pictures on the wall. It's got kind of green carpeting everywhere. It's sort of cozy and warm and a little bit dark. It feels like going to visit somebody's house. And this is the part of the house that you wouldn't ordinarily see. I think everybody has a place like this in their house. This is the closet of the space station. And you can see it's piled high with boxes. Most of that is actually food. As we get towards the end of the closet area, this is the FGB module. You'll actually see some towels on the wall. That's where the station crew does their daily sponge bath. And now as we go into the American segment of the space station, you can see that it feels very different than the Russian segment. It's very bright and airy, kind of metallic.